Ah, memoirs of war, blood, suffering, the slow crawl of death. A bedtime story just for me.
Shade, if you're about to read me another Necronomicon knockoff, I swear to God.
Oh no, my dear host. This one's different. A first-hand account from a soldier who survived the infamous Corpse War.
The what now?
The year was 1790... something. The French Revolution raged, but across the sea, England had a slightly bigger problem than tenants disputes. A zombie outbreak.
So you're telling me someone just sat down and wrote their diary while the dead were chewing on his comrades?
Apparently, yes, which means either this man had nerves of steel or a very poor understanding of priorities.
Wait, this is actually kind of sick.
Indeed. It's historical fiction, but written as if it were real, like you're reading an actual soldier's memoir. Blood, or and a little touch of that civilized 18th century panic.
And where did you find this?
Oh, it's not some dusty old relic. I got it straight from the source. It's launching on Kickstarter right now.
Wait. You're telling me this is new? Like I can actually go back it?
Precisely. And given your obsession with black powder, undead monstrosities, and desperate last stands, I figure you'd appreciate it.
Brandon's new book, guys, The Corpse War of 1793, A Soldier's Recollections, is a historical fiction piece written like a first-hand memoir from a soldier who lived through an 18th century zombie outbreak in England. It's gritty, it's immersive, and exactly the kind of horror-infused black powder chaos I know you guys love. The artwork Brandon has shown me in the book is absolutely stunning. Every piece is packed with an insane level of detail, and the designs are not only visually striking, but also rich in atmosphere, drawing me deeper into the world with every glance. It's on Kickstarter right now, and you can back it up using the link in the description down below, which not only gets you a sick book, but also helps support the channel. So if you've ever thought, hey, what if Guts and Black Powder had a novel? This is basically that. Grab a copy before the campaign ends, and let's make sure history remembers the undead. I wanted to do a different type of video today. It's been a while since we've done a tier list on the channel. I know I'm not gonna lie to you, we really don't keep up to date. Last time we did a tier list, I don't remember the last items that were in the game. I wonder if it was the pike. I wonder if the pike was the newest weapon. But that was back when we did a tier list with you guys on a live stream while I was in a VR game, that was just an insane video that was really fun to do. I even had some like surprise guests that just randomly showed up. Today, I wanted to have a professional take my place. And by that, I mean this fucking AI generation robot shit. ChatGPT. Oh, yes, this thing I hate so much. AI is going to be taking over the world, ladies and gentlemen. I have high hopes that Kai Cenat finds somewhere safe because he does not treat his robot with the best of care. If AI ever took over, Kai Cenat's on the top 5 to like go after. that dude bullies his robot, bro. So I went ahead and I took all of the weapons and equipment and utilities that do damage that you can equip onto your character, and I wanted ChatGPT to go ahead and create a tier list for me. And I wanted to see its thoughts on where it would rank everything. So this would be, of course, all of the firearms in the game, all of the melee weapons, and I also included some utilities like the grenades, the tar bottle. I even threw in the exorcism crucifix for the chaplain because that does damage to zombies. Technically, it is a weapon. So basically, I just took my time in a Google Doc to go on to the Guts of Black Powder wiki, and I just wrote down all of the stats for the weapons. I wrote down their damage, reload time, penetration, range, spread, how much they get when they're buffed, if they have any special abilities, and anything else that these weapons had to offer. I put it all into a Google Doc, and I slapped it into ChatGPT. Here's what I said. I want you to make a tier list for me with 5 different tiers. Their tiers will be F, C, B, A, and S. F being the worst and S being the best. And here's the list that it created. I don't know why it didn't rank their grenade, even though you can clearly see I put it in here. It's at the bottom of the message. So I said, is their grenade there? And ChatGPT said, it looks like the message got cut off before the full list was included. If the grenade is missing, could you provide its stats so I can properly rank it? Then I said, I did put the grenade there. Can you read? I don't know why I was being mean. I don't want AI coming for me. Okay, I don't want to be on that top 5 list. ChatGPT said, I didn't receive the full list you sent. Only part of it came through. If you could resend it, I'll make sure to check for the grenade and its placement properly. First of all, if that was true, you wouldn't have ranked everything else besides the grenade. I said, if you read the message I sent, the grenade portion is at the bottom. You know what? I'll just redo the grenade. The details are clear and concise. A couple of minor things you want to double check. Is this thing fucking correcting me right now? Do we got a problem, ChatGPT? Just rank it. I'd rank it a 7.5 out of 10. ChatGPT, I meant put it into the tier list. Based on what you've told me, I placed the grenade in A tier. Reasoning: strong burst damage, good quantity, decent range, no recharge except an endless, fuse time of 5 seconds. It looks like they're slapping it into A tier. So here is the list that ChatGPT made. This is what it ranked everything. We'll go from bottom to top. For F tier, it put the tar bottle and the delicious leg. For C tier, it put the brass pistol, the hand axe, the stake, and the navy pistol. For B tier, it put the air rifle, double barrel pistol, saber, and the spade. For A tier, it put the boarding axe, exorcism crucifix, heavy saber, horse artillery pistol, blunderbuss, carbine, the musket, the sapper's axe, and the grenade. And for the S tier, it put the knot gun, the pike, the pickaxe, and the rifle. What do you guys think about this tier list? Is it solid?
It's the biggest piece of dog shit.
I really want to go into depth on why ChatGPT decided to place these things in its specific areas. So for F tier, the tar bottle, it says if thrown poorly, it does require precise aiming and it does have a limited impact. Also, one thing I didn't include that I should have included is that you could set yourself on fire with the tar bottle, which I know a lot of people do, including myself. Delicious leg, by the way, we did decide to keep that down there purely for bragging rights, ineffective in real combat. This can apply to it just being in the C tier one as well. It is a joke weapon, okay? By the way, for F tier, it said, why are you using this? Let's move up to C tier. This is mediocre or outclassed. So for the stake, it has extremely weak base damage and no real advantage over better melee weapons. I was wondering if it was going to go ahead and include that the stake has the fastest swing rate in the game, but it looks like the base damage kind of overtook that. The hand axe is there for decent swing speed, but it's outclassed by better melee weapons. That does make sense. I will agree on that. I think the hand axe is a perfect C tier weapon for sure. The brass pistol and the navy pistol, though, I feel like this is going to piss a lot of people off. I know there's some people out there who love using the brass and the navy pistol. For the brass pistol, it says it's similar to the navy pistol. It suffers the same issues. So let's see what it said to the navy pistol for why it's in C tier. It has a high spread, low range, low damage per pellet, and it has decent knockback. It doesn't have knockback to the zombies. We get knockback, so that's not a good thing. ChatGPT hasn't obviously seen gameplay of how these pistols work or, specific situations. So just looking at the whole stat range of it, I think it's interesting they put it in the C tier. Let's move up to B tier though. It says this is good, but situational or has drawbacks. Why is the tar bottle here? Wait, what? Oh, it put the tar bottle in B tier and in F tier because it says if the tar bottle is thrown poorly, then it's in F tier. But if the tar bottle is in B tier, it deals consistent burn damage, but requires setup and precision. So if we're going back to the list here, it put tar bottle into B tier if you threw it good enough. The air rifle, decent damage and range, but the air pressure mechanic limits it. That is understandable. People be thinking the air rifle is a god tier weapon and it should be S+++ just because it's worth 10,000 francs. Let me be the first to tell you, that's not a good reason to rank a weapon. The spade, useful for barricades and defense, but it's weak in direct combat. That does make sense. I think the spade is purely used to try to help out the team. It's more of a support weapon, 100%. The saber, the chargeability is good, but the base damage is mediocre. Ooh. Mediocre. The saber is the most used melee weapon in the game. I love using the saber. I feel like I would put the saber into A tier if it was me anyways. I guess the saber does activate charge. Maybe that's another reason why I think it should go into A. I would move the saber up. Let me know what you guys think. The double barrel pistol is in B tier. It does high burst damage, but inaccurate at range. And the pistol's there as well, doing decent base damage of 85, but falls off due to spread and range. I haven't really used the pistols too much in this game. I don't really play officer, so I'm not going to give my input on these pistols. Yeah, I'm going to leave it there. Moving on to A tier. ChatGPT put a lot into A tier. This was the most they put into A tier, was all these weapons here. It says that A tier is very strong, just below the S tier. The exorcism crucifix is an A tier. It's a unique utility that slows all zombies and inflicts ticking damage, great for crowd control. I would definitely put exorcism crucifix into A tier, 100%. The sapper's axe, the zapper blocking ability, the 5 times headshot multiplier, and the strong base damage make it great. The sapper in general can do quite a bit of damage, and it's just a good support class, so perfect weapon for that. The boarding axe, high damage, and you can flip sides for different attack styles and great speed. I would not put the boarding axe into A tier. I would put this down to B tier. Flipping the sides for it to have those different attack styles, I think is really cool. It doesn't really have a high damage, if I'm being honest with you. The damage is only 35 per hit, and the back is 52. That's really not that much. The saber does more than that. Wait, no, it doesn't. The saber does 30. I thought the saber did more. Well, you know what? I don't know. And it looks like the speed is great as well, ChatGPT says. The Heavy Saber. It has great thrust damage, side swings slow zombies, and has a high headshot multiplier. I see a lot of people use Heavy Saber, especially when I'm streaming with you guys, so I think you guys really like this weapon. I'd probably keep it in A tier. The Blunderbuss fires 15 pellets, high burst potential, solid at close range. This weapon is strictly for crowd control, and you wouldn't be using your melee. All my Blunderbuss users are primarily there just to use the Blunderbuss in general. Leave the melee to the infantrymen. I think in the last tier list we did, the Blunderbuss was also an A tier. The Horse Artillery Pistol. Great damage with dual shots, solid penetration, and good accuracy. Not much I want to say about the Horse Artillery Pistol, I'm gonna be honest with you. The Carbine has good reload time, 95 base damage, and the stunning ability makes it reliable. I also agree. However, here's what I disagree. It put the Musket into A tier. If it were me, I would put the Musket into S tier. It says here that the Musket has great damage, 120 per pellet, and the bayonet charge deals insane burst damage. The Musket's bayonet charge itself should be put up into S tier. The bayonet does so much damage. The upward swings, I'm pretty sure that like always hits headshots, and it kills most zombies like right away. Just because there's a bayonet on the Musket definitely makes it S tier in my opinion. And having that proximity charge from an officer, making the bayonet do like 500 times its damage or something, is insane. Okay, this is where it's gonna get controversial. The S tier, best of the best, it says. It put 4 items up here, 4 weapons. It put the pike up here. Fast thrusting, charge synergy, and hit regeneration make it a devastating weapon for zombie waves. The pike is excellent inside of Endless, 100%. I love using the pike in Endless. However, this thing does replace your firearm. You're gonna be using 2 melees if you use the pike, but the pike is a very good melee weapon, especially for it being a primary. I don't know if I'd put it into S tier though. I'd probably put the pike down into A tier. It put the pickaxe in S tier here. Has a 6 times headshot multiplier, high damage, a penetration of 5, and it can zapper, block, or parry, make it one of the best melee weapons. It said that the pickaxe is one of the best melee weapons. What do you guys think about that? The pickaxe cannot do splash damage, I should say, like the sapper's axe, which is why I like using the sapper's axe over the pickaxe in general. The pickaxe is primarily used to target just like 1 or 2 zombies. It doesn't do the splash damage that it can with every other freaking melee weapon in this game. I would put it into high B tier or low A tier, in my opinion, for the pickaxe. It put the knot gun into S tier. It has absurd damage per pellet, 250, the ability to control the pellet count, and instrument buffs make this a monster and close to mid-range. It completely disregards how long it takes to reload the knot gun. I feel like that would have been a heavy point. I feel like it didn't put the reload into here though, because you have the ability to control the pellet count. So therefore the reload will be different. Depends on how many pellets you put into the knot gun on reload. It does the most damage in the game. This thing is a monster and close to mid-range, I feel like. Would you guys keep the knot gun in S tier? And the final weapon here I put in the S tier was the rifle. It has extreme damage, insane range of 1500 studs, pinpoint accuracy, and ignores zapper resistance. The reload is long, but justified. It put a reload note for the rifle, but not the knot gun. I like the rifle in PvP mode. I would not use the rifle inside of just the normal objective campaign maps or Endless or anything else for that matter. One thing that ChatGPT doesn't know is that in Guts and Black Powder, I think crowd control weapons always outperform those single hit weapons, which is why I keep referring to splash damage, and whether that be an actual firearm or a melee weapon. So when you're playing Guts and Black Powder, you're going to get hit by hordes of zombies, not just 1 or 2 at a time. I just want to ask ChatGPT, going back to the tier list, would you change anything if I told you the weapons were going against hordes of zombies? Therefore, splash damage and crowd control might be better? Let's see what it says. The ChatGPT says, got it. If the tier list is now based on fighting hordes of zombies, I'll adjust it to favor splash damage, crowd control, and sustained DPS over single target damage. Here's the updated ranking. So it moved everything. Hand motor? What the f is this? It's changing the names of everything. What the f is a dirk? Can you not change the names of the weapons I gave you? I literally said, can you not change the names? And it said, got it. Here's the revised list with the original weapon names. No, actually, you didn't do that. You didn't listen to me. Apologies for misunderstanding. There you go. Yeah, you dumbass. S tier, best for horde fighting. It put the blunderbuss, the knot gun, grenade, carbine, and the musket. Why is the carbine in S tier best for horde fighting? Is it probably because the shove mechanic, I would say anyways. And the F tier, tar bottle, pickaxe, steak, and delicious. Wow, isn't that crazy, guys? The first tier list that it did, it put the pickaxe into S tier. But when I told ChatGPT that we're going against hordes of zombies, it put the pickaxe into F tier. If you guys want to see more of this, let me know in the comments down below if you'd like to see me like just throw throw everything that GMB has to offer at ChatGPT. I will sit here for hours upon hours writing out a full-length Google Doc and just see what ChatGPT has to say, and then create like an official creative tier list on how the game runs, the mechanics, the features of Guts and Black Powder, and how all of that mixes in to how the weapons and equipment is used inside of the game. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, but so far, it put some weapons into places that I would put them in. I'm gonna leave the video with this statement. I will not be making a tier list by myself, because I don't feel like getting bullied. Okay, goodbye, guys.